Welcome back, awesome action toy fans and subscribers. Today is a good day, or maybe today is a chaotic day, because today I got JoyToy X-Warhammer 40k Chaos Space Marines Black Legion Chaos Lord, and I also got the same Black Legion Chaos Space Marine. And I also got another Space Marine. And I also got Terminator 1. And I also got Terminator 2. And I also got the last one, Terminator 3. Loads. Boop, 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 boop. Warning, camera reversing. Loads of JoyToy 40k figures. I'm going to review all of these now. So what I will do is I'll open it all, have a close look at all. I'll show articulation on one Terminator and one Chaos Space Marine. Maybe another if there's something I think that would change the articulation or impede articulation. Then I'll do a comparison. So do check the video description if you want to jump ahead to a various section to look at that. Okay, so that'll be below in the video description, the timestamps. Okay, so I'm going to pause this video. I'm going to cut off the cellophane plastic that's still on all of these beauties here. Open them up, put them together if there's any assembly required, and pose them, and we'll get into the review. So back in an instant for you guys, and back in a few minutes for me. Let's get into this. Okay, so here they are. That took quite a while to unbox. There's not a lot of assembly, but I will say this. The hands on this generation, on these Chaos Warhammer 1/18 scale action figures by JoyToy, are a lot stiffer than the previous ones. So it's actually more difficult to get the guns into their hands. It's not a bad thing. You may want to heat up in hot water. I didn't. Their fingers are very strong, so they can bend, they do have some give, but are actually quite stiff. But you may want to do the hot water instead. And I'll say this as well. They look amazing. Now let's start the things I don't like. These unmasked heads, for me, there's not enough weathering. They're pale. There doesn't seem to be enough going on. But I'll have a look at that closer in a second. Any other things I don't like? It feels like the Chaos Lord's ankles are too weak for his weight. He wants to fall backwards, and maybe on one of the other Space Marines. Other than that, maybe articulation is going to be suffering. We know, but you expect it with the bulk that these guys have got compared to like the original Ultramarine ones that we've had already. So things I like. I think this black and gold just looks amazing. It's just a shame there's not weathering and war battle weathering and whatnot on it. And some things also, there's another thing I don't like. Some things feel like they haven't been painted and they should have been or could have been painted. But I understand that that adds a lot of extra time and cost. But these are small things, as these just do look absolutely phenomenal. So let's have a close look. Let's start with the Space Marines first on the left side here. So this first guy, he only one comes with a separate knife. We have a look at his knife. That is a vicious looking knife. Very, very nice looking. That can work with your 1/12 scale if it can fit in our hands, because that is a great looking knife. And to that actual Marine himself, let me get him out here. So he comes with this really nice gun here, and this rather wicked looking axe. Very, very nice looking indeed. And he's got all these details going. Look at the skull, gold skull on his chest. Lovely detailing on the face there. These could have been weathered better, these skulls on his backpack. You know, the skulls on the Terminator backpacks look far better than the skulls on the backpacks of these normal Chaos Space Marines here, Black Legion Space Marines. There is some weathering on these sort of shoulders here. A bit of sort of lighting, but not really enough. I do like that sort of skirt section there. Looks fantastic. Oh, I didn't spot that before. He's actually got just here, just noticed, a little place for his knife to go. I didn't see that earlier. So that should fit in there somehow, like this, I would imagine. I might have to bend it first. Yeah, I have to bend it out slightly without taking my, there we go, without taking my nail off. I just had that then, I'll just let it slip. Ooh, there we go. So we can hold the knife there. He is a fantastic looking figure. Ooh, too close. Very, very nice looking, I have to say. Great detailing. I love the back of that backpack too. Very cool. Okay, let's go to Space Marine number 2. It's almost like the classic Space Marine from like sort of a, how do I now? From about 30 years ago, that helmet there. Looks really cool. Nice gun, but only a few sort of shells hanging out there. Very nice looking. Again, that gold and black just pops really nicely. It's got this nice chain sword here as well. Decent dry brushing on the what is this, a loincloth? Can't remember what the word is now. On the clothing here, as it were. Nice on the Mark of Chaos icon there. Nice looking backpack. And other than that, we've pretty much seen very similar before. But I do like that skull and that sort of a engraving work on his shoulder pad there. Very nice looking figure. We come to the Chaos Lord. It's got this nice skull on top of his sort of a head there, but that again needs better weathering. Face is pretty good, but they could have done more, I feel, still. Can I get this? There we go. I feel they still could have done more on his face to make it better, but that is actually really quite detailed and quite freaky, if I'm honest. Now, if you'll see, that pipe connects to his head, which means he's going to lose head articulation. But he does look great. Fantastic hammer, I will say. That looks so good. Really, really, really nice. He's got this sort of cloth that goes over. This can be taken off and it will peel off over the part on his back. Sorry, wrong zoom. On his back. Take the backpack off and there's a little black part underneath. You can see this cloak can come off over there. Now, what I feel is not being painted well is you can see these sort of pipe things here, here, here. I feel they should be painted. You can do it yourself if you want. His arm here, there's more. There's been dry brushed metal. But the ones in his legs just feel like they've been forgotten about. Body's okay. You know, they could dry brush, but they could have done a different colour on the piping inside. The gun is small, looks really good. Cloak on the back looks nice again. Backpack is rudimentary painting, but it does look really, really good. Then he got like this eye, all-seeing eye on his shoulder. Done it in like a chrome metal, and it's just a bit, yeah. You know, someone could do a much better job than that. But I'm not complaining. I do think it looks fantastic. These feet do feel a little bit loose, I have to say. Very, very nice figure. Okay, let's move on to our Terminators. So I'll go in the same order, going from left to right. And I'll start with their helmeted heads first. All got very similar sort of helmeted heads. This is the first one here. I will zoom for this one. Very nice, very nice painting. I love the way that it's graded in the paint on the horns. Looks really good. Nice panel lining there. Simple but a very effective paint job. We'll come to the next head, then we'll go back to the Terminators. This has got the longer horns and it's got like the tips on. Looks really, really quite good. I do like that a lot. The paint work on the eyes is pretty cool again. Simple fading of colour, looks nice, the blending. A great all-round head. Now, this is something I will say. Changing the heads will be really hard because they're recessed into that sort of hood. Okay, head on the third one. Smaller horns, but they're curved more inwards. Again, you've got that blending of colour. Looks pretty cool. Simple, again, it's really, really quite nice. Okay, let's have a look at our big boys, our Terminators. So first one here, great features. I mean, this gun is ridiculous. Look how big that gun is. That gun is bigger than him practically. That is massive, massive gun. Look at the skulls going on here. Got some nice paint work. You've got the drilled barrels. Looks really good. He looks good, but again, he needs more weathering in his face. Got this nice cloth hair, half skull. skull hanging down from his arm, a bit smaller than that one. Then on here you've got the guardsman's helmet, another 2 skulls on there. Got like the teeth or claws and the mark of chaos there. Different armor, looks really good. It's a fantastic looking figure in terms of details. Come to Terminator number 2. Yeah. Okay, got the power fist as the other one has, same power fist as the other one we see here, but needs a bit more paintwork on the power fist. Power fist. It's got a little eye of all-seeing eye there, nice cloth there, good on the skull and the bones there. But again, these skulls are different dimensions to the skulls on their sort of top stroke backpack. You've got an Ultramarines head through there as well, which looks pretty cool. Very nice looking. I love the way this sort of chainmail has been done. The gun looks really good, though the barrels aren't drilled enough. They are drilled, but they should have been drilled further in my opinion. Great looking figure. Just make sure we can stand up before I stick him back. That should be okay if I put that at an angle. Then the last Terminator. Great big sword, massive sword. Got this great gun, again, nice detailing there. Great on the pipes here. Great on that sort of metal skull. This skull seems to be a bit more proportional to the rest of him. He's got the 3 skulls on one side, and what chapter is this one? As you got there, it's got another Space Marine helmet there as well, impaled on those spikes. Face is pretty cool. Again, that really nice sort of a knee pad. Lucky rabbit's foot, I don't know. Great aura and detailing. They are fantastic. But you can see, look, the hips are just a little bit on the loose side, and these guys are very top heavy. Okay, so next we're going to go through articulation. I will do 1 Marine, the Chaos Lord, and I will do 1 Terminator, since there's not much difference in the Terminator. So that'd be 3 lots of articulation, and then I'll do a size comparison. I'll start with, I'll do this Marine here. I don't think there's much, just going to fall over. I don't think there's much difference between the Marines in terms of articulation. See, his ankles are too weak on the Chaos Lord. In fact, I'll use this guy because he's closer. So if we start from the top and go down, back, there is some movement in these parts here, but I don't think it's meant to be, so I wouldn't force that. Shoulders, they will go all the way around. They're on a ratchet this time, which is nice, which is great. Outwards to the side, because the bulk of the armor, he's not going to get very, very high at all. Now there is a joint underneath the shoulder plate here, which does have articulation of its own, but that's at its maximum there, so he's not getting very good on the lateral raise. On the bicep bend, if his arm is turned away, he'll get 90 degrees or over 90 degrees, which is really good for a really bulky figure, because there's a double joint he's got there. Now the wrist is a barbell in, barbell out, so he gets good all-round wrist articulation, and obviously you can twist as well. There is trunk, so he can go side to side, forwards, backwards. He can turn from the trunk, and there is a waist turn, and that will add to the forwards, backwards, side to side as well. Hips popped out because it was just getting in the way. Not great. Much more than that, he'll pop out a joint. There is a thigh twist. He has a double kneecap, really tight for the bulk. There is a boot turn separate to the thigh twist. Very small. The tippy toe, well, he's not going to sneak up on many people, but it is there. The dorsiflexation is practically 0 since the sculpt gets in the way, can't even fall over. But he does have that really nice JoyToy toe articulation as well. And the other one will be the same. If we look at the Chaos Lord, so starting at the top, on the backpack, there's nothing that articulates that I can see. So I didn't show the guys' heads. Their heads will go side to side, forwards, backwards. So it's side to side, forwards, backwards, and they will both turn. On the Chaos Lord, his head is a forwards, backwards. There's not really anything else because of that connection into his head. You can see just there. Let me just get a little zoom in. Because of that connection just there, you won't get much articulation on that at all. Shoulders should go all the way around, but bear in mind his backpack will stop, so I've got to take the arm to the side a little bit. And again, I said this can be taken off. That just comes off there. Backpack must come off, and then you can slide this over the backpack. This shoulder part here is loose. It keeps popping out. So I'm going to have to put a bit of PVA glue in there, let it dry, and then just on the edges, then when it's dry, stick it back on so it has a firmer grip. Okay, so lateral raise. Be less on this arm here because he's got the cloak on that side. So he can't get much of a lateral raise. Bicep bend will depend on the angle. But you can see here that he's got well over 90 degrees on his bicep bend, which is fantastic. Same wrist as a barbell in and barbell out. So he's got great all-round wrist articulation. I love that system there. Shoulders and all, I forgot to mention, there is a shoulder roll on those Marines and on this guy. Does he have trunk and waist? Yeah, so he's got a trunk. And then he's got a waist and trunk for even more motion too. This keeps popping off again. So it's pretty good articulation. Now, I'm a bit disappointed with the popping off. I thought they'd have fixed that after the Ultramarines Liberian and the issues he had. But apparently not. You know what, I'll leave it off and I'll do it later. Okay, so hips. His hips go this far apart. Not particularly wide. I didn't show the forwards backwards, but his not great. It's a thigh twist, but he does have a double kneecap, and even though the cloak's there, if I move it, he still gets 90 degrees of all his bulk. Small boot turn. Tippy toes pretty good, but again, his ankles need to be stiffer. Dorsiflexation is better than the Space Marines. He can almost fall over. And he still has that toe articulation as well, though it's not as much as the Space Marine had. Okay, let me just pop this back on again. It's annoying me a little bit. Come on, JoyToy. You can do it. There we go. Now, in terms of toys, these are alright. In terms of actual action figures, they're alright. In terms of display pieces for posing, they are amazing. They just got so much shelf presence. They look so, so good. Okay, which Terminator should I choose since they're going to be roughly the same? I'll take the young guy here. Be slightly easier. Okay, so articulation. Very easy for his arm to go, or hopefully go, all the way around. There we go. But the lateral is going to be terrible. Look at that. Hardly anything on the lateral at all. That's all you can get, just there to there, because the armor gets in the way. The only way to have improved that is to make the joint inside so low down that it can pivot that way away. Bicep bend, and the joint's too high up for that. Bicep bend. It's different bicep bend. It looks like he's getting just under 90 degrees on his bicep. Actually, just there we go. Over 90 degrees. I'll put the sword out the way. It is a double joint, which is great. Same wrist as before, barbell, so he gets fantastic motion there. He has a trunk twist, not really side to side or forwards and backwards. A little bit with the waist, but again, it's not a lot. Outwards on the thighs, not a lot. Forwards, not a lot, you expect it. There is a thigh twist. There is a double kneecap, which is pretty fantastic, but you get this horrible little gap at the front there, which I'll just zoom in and show you, which is a bit ugly. but what to expect. But other than that, pretty damn cool. Feet, there is boot twist, small boot twist. There is a tippy toe, not sure why a Terminator with tippy toe. There is a dorsiflexation, which is enough for him to overbalance and fall over. And again, he does have that toe articulation, but it's minimal because his sculpt does get in the way. So articulation, well, we were not expecting great things from articulation because of their bulk, but it is surprisingly good for their size, and they do look so good. It has to be said. They look absolutely fantastic. Let's get a bit of a better zoom in. There we go. They look amazing. Okay, will I try and change the heads over? I'm not sure I want to try and change the head over, but because I don't want to stick in hot water, I don't want to take pliers to it. Well, actually, he's got quite a good bit of head motion there, so he is actually quite easy to take out. Just depends if this one's going to be easy. Oh my word, that's going to be so hard to push in. Let me just quickly try this off camera while you're looking at the space I've left on screen where I've taken this guy from. Let's get his peg lined up first. Okay, now let's try. That's right. Well, I think I'd have to heat up the head before I put it on, because the hole on the head is not really that big. Oh, I tell you what, I've now got it on. Does he look better with that Terminator head? I think he looks far superior. Oh, it wasn't on, I was telling a lie. I'll just rest it for now. Or maybe it was on, but not fully. There you go, that's sort of jammed in. Looks pretty damn cool, I think, with his head like that. The other guy, the next one, in fact, let's take the next two out and let's try them. Let's see if the heads can be removed easily, first of all. If they can, then I will jam the other heads in. Now that one is, oh, there we go. It's coming forwards now. Is it going to come out? Just, but I'm not going to fit that in, I don't think, but I will try. Nah, that's going to be really hard to put on without heating up the head first. And that's not even going to be able to jam that one in place, but that would look fantastic as well. In fact, if I lean him backwards, it will probably stay in place. There we go. So 1 and 2, and then number 3. I think that's going to be too stiff for my fingers to do while on camera. They do look absolutely fantastic. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause this, and then I'll set up with a couple of other figures so we can get a comparison, and then we'll go forward from there. So back in an instant. Okay, we can see how they scale up. So we have the Ultramarines Aggressor, the Chaos Lord, though he's not standing straight, but he's holding his axe with 2 hands. We have the pilot from the Invictus Warsuit, the Chaos Terminator, and the Liberian, the Ultramarines Liberian. You can see that in terms of actual figure height, the Liberian's probably the tallest. His head is the highest, him or the Aggressor, maybe the Liberian. In terms of actual height, then it's going to be the Terminator with this sort of part here and the horns and the spikes coming out. Great looking figures, such good shelf presence. They do look absolutely fantastic, I have to say. This range by JoyToy is really good. I know they're milking it for all it's worth here in China, and some people have said, and I do tend to agree, I think the releases are too thick and too fast. Wallets can't keep up, but bear in mind the thick and fast releases are tailored towards the Chinese market, just that we tend to buy them from sellers who sell internationally as opposed to Games Workshop, who are so many months behind with what they're shipping out and what you can buy from them. Fantastic collection, really worth getting. These Terminators and Space Marines are a fantastic addition to this JoyToy X Warhammer 40k line. Okay, so Awesome Action Toys signing out, saying please like, share, subscribe, check out my other videos, over 1,000 on the channel, and I'll be back soon with more JoyToy news, reviews, videos, etc. for you guys. Stay happy and keep collecting. Bye-bye.